talking, start the eating.
Rachel and Aaron walked into the tank looking for $300,000 for 5% of their ready-to-go shippable charcuterie boards. So here's an example of what they look like. This is one of their larger ones that feeds about 12 to 14 people. It costs them $91 to make, and it retails to you for $229. That's quite a lot of cheddar. They aren't customizable at all. They just have some different sizes available. So because of their manufacturing, they're able to make about 3,000 a day, which is pretty great. And it's all next day. You order it and then you get it about next day, depending, I guess, on time of ordering. So between them two and an investor, they have put in $2 million into this business. But luckily, they have some good numbers to back it up. Last year, they did $1.8 million in sales, and this year they're projected to do $4 million and be profitable $400,000. So that's pretty good considering they came in with a $6 million valuation. Robert isn't a big fan of being a minority shareholder, though. He really likes those double-digit deals, so he goes out. Mark is worried this can just be easily ripped off, which is true, and so he also goes out. Kevin puts on his Chef Wonderful hat and decides he'll throw his offer into the ring of $300,000 for 17.5%, which makes their valuation about $1.7 million. Very big difference from $6 million. Barbara decides she wants to come in too and do a little undercut, so she does $300,000 for 15% of the business. But wait, that's not all. Lori's still hanging around, and she says she'll do the $300,000 for 13%. They try to counter her 8%, but Lori is not having it because she thinks she can really blow up this business.
Well, let me tell you this, and Mark says this all the time. Say it, Mark.
40% of a water bill is better than 100% of a grape.
They try to counter again for 10%. Lori says she'll go down to 12. Then Mark says, you know what? I'll do it for $300,000 for 10%. Did he just do that to get Lori to go down on her offer? 100%, and it worked. Lori ends up offering them 9%, and they end up making a deal.
I get free boards now. I get free boards forever.
So yeah, this product isn't something that I'd be super interested in. Number one, the price is just astronomical, and I get that stuff like this is expensive, but my brain, especially because it's not customizable at all, I don't really know what's in there. If I'm gonna get a gift for somebody that's $229, I want it to have a little bit more than just something this generic. I'm also with Mark that it's too easily ripped off. I literally found multiple other websites doing something kind of similar on the internet. So, but they have some great numbers, so good for them. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Are you paying $229 for a cheese board? And I'll see you in the next episode.
I loved your whole speech how you were staying at 13 and then you went to 9.
Brothers Trey and Don walked into the tank looking for $200,000 for 5% of their stylish subscription-based car air fresheners. So this is what they look like. They have ones with different sayings. They also have different basketball teams, and they have all different scents and smells.
This one smells like winning. Sorry, Mark.
It cost them 38 cents to make, and then again, this is a subscription model, so it's either every month you get 2 for $8.25, or they have a higher price package for $10.99. Although I went on their website and it looks like they lowered the price of those, so that it looks like the $8.25 one is now $5 and the $10.99 one is $7.25, I'm pretty sure. But before we can get into numbers or really anything about the business, this happens.
Mark, are you okay? You're kind of still over there.
Ooh, you know what?
Dumbest marketing move ever. I'm out.
What?
That's it? Seriously. You gotta read the room. Wrong move, wrong time. What are you upset about?
Yeah, why?
What do you think? The one air freshener from the NBA is the team that beats us in the NBA Conference Finals. Gotta know that could backfire.
You're a bigger man than that. Cut it out.
Yeah, I could be, but I'm not.
Wow.
So yeah, Mark's out, but that's okay. All the other sharks are open and ready to hear their pitch. As I said, they're completely subscription-based, and their lifetime sales are $1.1 million in 3 years, and last year they did $540,000, but they only made $40,000 off of that. So the guys always saw the subscription-based model as their first phase of the business, and then eventually wanted to go into retail, and with that, they've made a deal with AutoZone for next year to do 2,000 stores in the amount of $2.1 million. So Lori feels like they're too masculine-based and that the guys need to spend some time designing a broader range of products, so she goes out. Then Robert has this weird story about an air freshener traumatizing him. I'm not going to get into it, but he also goes out. Kevin just thinks they need work fine-tuning their business and does not want to help with that, so he goes out, and Barbara's concerned that they even want to go into retail. She thinks they have lost their mind for that, but they remind her they have that deal with AutoZone and that retail was always in the plans for them. Barbara decides she wants to take a chance on them and offers them $200,000 for 25% of the business contingent on those retail deals going through that they've made. They try countering for 15%. She says no. They try 20%. She says no again, and so they end up making a deal for $200,000 for 25%. So I can see why this would be a good business. One thing they really talked about was like taxi drivers, Uber drivers. That's great for them because they're not having to think about it and they have to upkeep their car and keep it smelling nice. I'm kind of with Lori that I think they need to branch out on their design some because none of these like super appeal to me. But it seems like they're doing well, and with that AutoZone deal, they'll probably be killing it soon. So let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode.
And sorry again, Marlene. I'm sorry. It's all good. It's all good.
Are excited to bring a product into the tank that shines brighter than Mr. Wonderful's head.
Brothers Dakota and Garrett walked into the tank looking for $200,000 for 15% of their LED light systems for sporting equipment. So here's a small sampling of what they have. They have 8 application uses in 7 different colors. The colors are static though, so whatever color you buy, it'll always be that color, but they are working on a color changing one. The skateboard's gonna cost you about $49 and cost them $15 to make. The biggest set for like a kayak or a paddleboard is gonna run you about $124, and they didn't say how much that one was to make. Now, they didn't just start this the other day. The brothers actually applied for their LLC in 2012 when they were 13 and 16 and have been applying for Shark Tank ever since.
We're the Porter brothers, and we live in Traverse City, Michigan. I'm Dakota Porter, age 16.
And I'm Garrett Porter, age 13.
Together, we created the business 45th Parallel Lighting, in which we have a patent pending for our product, ActionGlow.
Dakota Porter, age 18.
And I'm Garrett Porter, age 15.
We need the Sharks' help to light up your score.
Time to get into the numbers. So their lifetime sales have been $130,000 in the 10 years, but most of that has come in the past 2 years when the brothers have graduated college and could really start focusing on the business. Last year it was $32,000, and this year they're at $22,000, but they haven't hit their biggest quarter yet, aka everybody's biggest quarter, quarter 4, holiday season. Now the numbers aren't great, but they do all of this by themselves. They have no manufacturing help. They ship and make the orders all themselves. They even said they're worried about getting a viral TikTok because they're worried they won't be able to keep up with the demand.
I've never met anyone who doesn't want a TikTok to go viral who's in business. I think they're crazy.
Kevin's worried that even though they do have a patent, they'll have to be a lot of time fighting people who are going to try to duplicate this, and he doesn't want to do that. He already had a business called Illumable where that happened, so he goes out. Lori thinks it's too small of a business for an investment, Mark thinks it's too tough of a business, and Barbara is very upset with their sales, so all 3 of them go out. But Robert's still in, and he loves the idea.
How much of the business do I own for it to be interesting for me? And
Robert, let me guess it's going to be more than 15%.
wow, it's like you have a crystal ball.
Yes.
Robert makes them an offer of $200,000 for 30%.
I knew he was going to say that.
They try to counter 20%. He says no. They try 25. He says no again, and Lori comes in with some sage advice.
Guys, you've been trying to get in here for 10 years and now you have an offer. Don't blow it.
So they end up making a deal for $200,000 for 30%. So I can't lie and say their numbers are good, but I really do think it's a cool product. I know there's similar stuff already for bikes, but especially for like the paddle boards and stuff like that, I've never seen anything like it. I personally would like some for my roller skates. I think that'd be kind of fun, so if y'all could work on that, that'd be great. They also said Robert was their dream partner, which warmed my heart because I love Robert, and I think he'll really help with this business. He loves all the sporting stuff. So let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.
And what is the difference now that was different from 28 years ago? There's a very popular show on TV that gave entrepreneurs a chance to showcase their products to millions of people.
What show is that?
It's Shark Tank.
Mike walked into the tank looking for $300,000 for 10% of his shave brush that attaches to the shaving cream can. So this is it, and how it came about was Mike and his brother were trying to help their dad out by getting him one of those old-timey shave brushes because he was complaining about getting irritation, and the shave brush is supposed to help exfoliate your skin and really prep it before shaving. But when the dad got the old-timey one, he was like, guys, this is just too much effort, there's too much to do, I can't do it, I'm so sorry. And they all thought to themselves, why can't the brush just attach to the can? Luckily, their dad knew a plastic injection molder, and they got 20 prototypes made, and boom, 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 Legacy Shave. And that's not all, because you don't have to buy their shaving cream to use the brush. The brush can fit onto any shaving cream can, even the travel sizes. They sell for $24.95 and cost them $5.39 to make, or you can buy just the brush by itself for $19.95. Now, when they made those prototypes 20 years ago, they actually ended up not selling them. They just hung out in their dad's basement because they were all too scared to take the chance to start the business. Unfortunately, Mike's dad ended up getting cancer, and during his chemo treatment, he ended up putting together 3,000 of the prototypes and left them in the basement along with something else for the brothers to find.
A note, a message beyond the grave that said, don't wait, life's short, take the shot.
Wow.
It was at that point in time, my brother and I just looked at ourselves and said, we have to do this.
Now, unfortunately, even though it's a beautiful story, the numbers are not great for this guy. They've been in business 5 years and have had $1 million in sales, which is great, but their highest year was year 3 at $390, and then it slowly started going down to this year being $42,000. Barbara, Mark, Kevin, and Robert really just don't see it for this guy and end up all going out, but luckily, Lori wants to make him the deal of a lifetime. She offers him $1 million for 100% of the company with a 3% lifetime royalty on net sales. He really wants to hold on to some part of the business though, so they end up making a deal for $700,000 for 95% of the company, along with that 3% royalty. So I thought this was a really cool story and a really cool product. Aside from the exfoliating feature, he also talked about how it's going to save you some product, because I know when I shave, I end up with a bunch of leftover shaving cream on my hands that goes straight down the drain, and the brush helps to kind of contain that. I also think selling most of the business to Lori was the best decision. He said none of his family is very business savvy, and that's kind of what's been their main struggle. So selling to somebody like Lori, who sold a bunch of like weird novelty products like this, was a great idea. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.